There are places where history leaves monuments, and places where history leaves silence. Évora is known for Roman temples, medieval walls, and centuries of human presence layered one over the other. But in 1959, something crossed its sky that did not belong to any layer we recognize. This was not a story born from folklore, not a rumor whispered generations later. It happened in daylight. It was seen by civilians and military personnel alike. And when it ended, the sky did not return to normal, because something fell, something physical, something organic, something that should not have been there. Tonight, we are not asking what people saw. We are asking what was left behind. Welcome to Seven Hills Tales. This is not a legend. This is the Évora incident. Portugal in 1959 was a country where the sky itself felt regulated. Under the Estado Novo regime, information moved slowly, carefully, and often incompletely. There was no culture of public speculation, no appetite for extraordinary claims. People did not look up expecting wonders. They looked down, focused on surviving, obeying, continuing. Which is why the Évora incident matters. Because when people like this speak, it is usually because something refused to be ignored. It began with a shape. High above Évora, an object appeared, metallic, luminous, sharply defined against the sky. It did not roar. It did not trail smoke. It did not behave like any aircraft known at the time. Witnesses described controlled movement, sudden directional changes, and moments where the object seemed to pause, not drifting, not falling, but deciding. Some said it reflected sunlight like polished metal. Others described a brightness that did not blind, but compelled attention. Military observers watched it too. Men trained to identify silhouettes, speeds, trajectories, and yet no category fit. Then, without warning, it departed. No explosion, no sound, just absence. What followed turned this sighting into an encounter. Shortly after the object vanished, material began descending from the sky. Not rain, not dust, not ash. Witnesses described gelatinous filaments, translucent, fibrous, almost alive in appearance. It clung to surfaces, stretched between fingers, adhered to vegetation. Some said it dissolved quickly. Others said it degraded as they watched. The sky had not just been crossed, it had been touched. This material did not immediately vanish into myth. It was collected, handled, observed, examined. Initial descriptions suggested an organic composition, though no known organism matched it precisely. It was not radioactive, not immediately toxic, not identifiable as industrial waste. And then it disappeared. Not just physically, but administratively. No public report, no official explanation, no archival closure. Almost as if the material had no place in any existing framework, scientific, political, or cultural. Over time, explanations were proposed. Atmospheric phenomena, migrating biological matter, unusual algae carried by wind currents. But these explanations stumble when confronted with sequence. Why immediately after the object? Why limited to a specific area? Why with characteristics so rarely documented? Coincidence can explain one anomaly, but coincidence struggles with patterns. Évora is not unique. Around the world, similar reports exist. Objects in the sky, followed by strange organic residues, different continents, different decades, the same uncomfortable structure. Portugal, often absent from global UFO narratives, holds one of the rare cases where observation and physical trace overlap. A moment when the unknown did not simply appear, but interacted. Seeing something strange challenges belief, but touching something strange challenges reality. The Évora incident asks a question that has no comfortable answer. If something crossed our sky and left material behind, what does that imply about distance, intention, and presence? The case was never solved, never disproven, never truly investigated in public. It was allowed to fade, which raises another question. Was the mystery forgotten or intentionally set aside? And now, after the object vanished into the daylight sky, after witnesses returned to their routines, after samples were collected and quietly archived, we are left with something far more unsettling. Not a craft, not a photograph, but a question. What exactly fell over Évora in broad daylight? It was not the cover of night. There were no shadows to hide behind, no darkness to blame. Whatever it was seen clearly, by civilians, by military personnel, and by witnesses who had never met, yet described the very same impossible details. And it left behind more than fear. It left behind organic material, gelatinous, fibrous, unfamiliar, something that did not behave like anything known at the time. Collected, studied, and then forgotten. No public report ever offered a conclusion that satisfied those who saw it fall. No explanation ever truly closed the case. And maybe that is the most disturbing part, that in a quiet city in southern Portugal, on an ordinary afternoon, something happened that refuses to fit neatly into history. Evora did not build monuments to it. There are no plaques, no official answers, only memory, only questions. So I'll leave you with one. If this happened today, in the age of smartphones and satellites, would we really know more, or would the truth still slip quietly away? If stories like this fascinate you, if unanswered questions linger in your mind long after the facts fade, then you're in the right place. Join Seven Hills Tales. Subscribe, leave a like, and share your thoughts below. Not because we claim to have all the answers, but because curiosity is where every true discovery begins. Some stories don't ask to be believed. They ask to be remembered. And sometimes, remembering is the most powerful thing we can do.